In the city of Yorkton, residents are reporting seeing a large number of yarn-related attacks around the city which are now being labeled as yarn bombings. These art attacks are turning everyday items, fences, trees, or really anything around town into colorful yarn-covered art exhibits. Nobody knows where these attacks are coming from and why they are happening, and residents of the town are left wondering what will be next. But out of all this yarn, all these strings, you think there would be a single clue left somewhere to who is behind these colorful yarn bombings. But investigators are still left with zero leads. Residents are asked to come forward if they have any leads or information that might help in the finding of what is being labeled as the Yorkton Yarn Bombers.
My name's Tanya Vermette.
I'm Michelle Easton.
And we're fiber artists, and we are working on a yarn bomb. Yarn bombing started, well, quite a few years ago with artists. It's been called guerrilla knitting or graffiti art that's made out of yarn.
So, sometimes it's cross stitch. Some just weave fabric through the slats of the fence.
And it's been generally used just to brighten up sort of industrial areas or places that need a splash of color, sometimes for political statements, most often just for fun. I had seen yarn bombs while I was traveling on a fence in Vancouver, also in England and Salisbury. We were at an art center and all of the light poles around the art center had been yarn bombed. And it was actually last summer, I thought, as I was pruning trees in my yard, I don't know how this connects to knitting, but I thought, oh, I should save these and yarn bomb a tree and install it for the local artist show at the Godfrey Cultural Center, because outside the building there's an empty plinth. So that's where it first started. We started with the tree and then went on to the bike, and then Randy Golden from Tourism Yorkton approached us and said, hey, this bike is lots of fun. Would you yarn bomb the train at Yorkton Tourism? There's a climbing structure, like for kids to play on, that's outside the building at Yorkton Tourism. And so then we came up with a design, and now that one's covered in yarn as well. And what we're currently working on here is a Culture Days project that's been spearheaded by the Yorkton Arts Council. The theme for Culture Days this year is reimagine, and so we're reimagining the Gallagher Center fence as a garden, because right now it is a chain link fence with gravel behind it. So it's not very exciting. We've reached out to artists and friends who participated in the event last year, and so we've got all of these crazy creatures that we are sewing onto chicken wire that will then go onto the fence. We have learned that installing stuff is easier if you can do it inside first.
Yeah, it was not too bad putting it on because the weather was still nice at the end of September, but at the beginning of November, it's kind of tough taking each piece off the fence. So as we've been going along, we've been learning little tricks of the trade.
I think it is a way to bring art and actually to elevate traditional materials. Often people think of crochet as that's something my grandma did, that's doilies, that's not current or fun or useful. And this is a way of bringing it to the public and teaching younger people that crochet and knitting can be fun, and also installing art in public places where people can interact with it and they don't have to come to the art gallery. They may not normally want to come into that space or maybe intimidated by that art space. And it also elevates the material from a craft that is used to make socks or toques or scarves into something that is making art. And it's not painting, and it's not photography, and it's not stone sculpture, but it's something that you have in your cupboard at home, or it's at the craft store or Walmart.
Very accessible.
Yeah, it's an accessible material. You just need a couple of straight sticks or a curved hook and you can create something.
Being able to create something from themselves, people are just amazed after they've learned how to do something, and they get it done and they look at it and they go, I can't believe I just did that. Because they think it's just something that's out of reach, but it really isn't. It's really nice to bring that to people.
The public's reaction, and when some little kid is walking down the sidewalk and says, hey Mom, look at that bike, that just makes my day. And when the bikes showed up in people's wedding photos, and it's been used in grad photos and stuff since then, that just makes us feel great that our artwork is being embraced by the community and used in other ways that we hadn't imagined. Well, right now you can get involved if you go on the Yorkton Arts Council's website at yorktonarts.ca. Then all of the videos that Michelle's created to teach you how to make butterflies and flowers and bees and
if
leaves.
you know how to do that already, there's PDF of the patterns if you want to do the patterns.
You can just download the PDFs and then drop them off at the Yorkton Public Library or sew them right onto the fence.
And you can pick them up after if you want that.
Yeah, that's right. So if you want to keep your own creatures, you can pick them up. Just remember where you sewed them on, because there will be a lot out there.
Yeah. What's next for the Yorkton Yarn Bombers is a break.
Is a break. Well, we're finishing this. Culture Days is a Canada-wide celebration of culture, and that runs from September 24th to October 24th. And so by then, we hope to have the whole Gallagher Center fence covered with letters spelling out Culture Days and other creatures and chains of flowers, and we've got butterflies and frogs and caterpillars and all kinds of stuff just transforming that fence. And once that's done, then we'll be ready to start planning for when the snow goes in the spring. I've already had a couple of people reach out to me with new ideas for, you should yarn bomb this, and could you yarn bomb that, and what about this other thing? So I think it's going to just keep rolling, and Yorkton is going to be a yarn bomb city.
Yeah,
for the future, do you think?
Oh, for sure, because in the end of September, during the first bit of Culture Days, we're going to have a workshop on
learning to crochet. And teach some people how to crochet. And last year, actually, one of the schools yarn bombed some of the benches in front of their school after the yarn bombing started on the Gallagher Center fence. So Yorkdale Central School, I think they're actually still out there. Yeah, so yarn bombing is starting to catch on.
Are you an artist who's interested in appearing on maxTV Local? Email us at max.local@sastel.com.